So my name is Luis Estrella, and I am a current student athlete here at Souhegan High School. And this past year, I was given the opportunity to become the high school's athletic trainer, student assistant for the current sports season. A little background information on me: it's actually my first year here at Souhegan, and I've been playing sports for the majority of my life, as well as being enrolled in the nursing program for my CTE class, as well as shadowing physical therapy. So my applied piece for this ELO was to create a brochure to kind of help the next athletic trainer assistant and kind of get them on their feet, tell them the steps necessary to be able to successfully, be able to assist Marcus in the task at hand. Some of the key points that I talked about in the brochure is to be on time, to take responsibility, learn the proper techniques, control your emotions, prepare, take the time to learn the student athletes on the individual level, and also take the time to learn the sports. Now, to talk a little bit more in depth on each of those, it's very essential as an athletic trainer to always be prepared for anything. You never really know when you go into a game what could happen, so it's best to prepare for every single scenario, as well as taking the time to give proper holistic care. Now, holistic care means to care for the whole person, not just injury or illness that they might be suffering from, but also look at and try to see anything else that could be bothering them. And in doing so, you make the recovery process a lot more easier to manage, and also just easier to kind of digest as well. So 3 new things I learned throughout my time as the athletic trainer assistant is: 1, time management is essential. Between balancing all the different sports at a time, like this past spring season, there'd be times where you had multiple teams from different sports playing on the same, at the same time, and fields right next to each other. So being able to kind of balance it, do the check-ins with the coaches, make sure you do the stretches with the players beforehand, was just so important, because we had to really make sure that everybody was good to go. So not only being able to balance that, but also being able to balance going through concussion protocols or filing reports for any new injuries, whether it be our own players or players outside, as well as just managing how much time a student athlete needs to wait before they're able to play again, being able to clear an athlete. The second thing that I learned, which is holistic care is vital. Now, it's really preached within certain aspects of the medical field, but I didn't really know how much it applied to athletic trainers. A lot of the athletic trainers I've had in the past, they really kind of just put some ice on it and they kind of let you move on. But the good thing about Marcus is that he actually takes the time to understand the student athletes and really know them on a personal level. And in doing so, it made the process of recovery a lot easier. I mean, I remember I fractured my finger this past fall. It was a transverse fraction of my 4th phalange. And just being able to talk to Marcus and just get that reassurance really helped me through that recovery process. And he was able to get me back on the field and playing at a faster rate than I've had in the past. So holistic care as a whole is very important, and I feel like it's overlooked a lot, especially in the medical field. And the third and final thing that I learned that was new for me is that preparation is key. Like I said in the brochure, you never know what could happen. And by understanding sports too, understanding each individual sport, so for example, wrestling, if you understand that nosebleeds are a very common occurrence during wrestling, you're going to prepare. You're going to bring more gloves, you're going to bring more cotton clogs to block up the nosebleeds, right? You're just overall going to be in a better position to be more aware of what's happening, as well as just preparing the athletes to go in the game. if the athlete sustained a hamstring like has happened in the past year, we do our best to try to prevent the same thing from happening twice, because once you sustain an injury, it's twice as likely you're going to do it to the same leg or same arm because of the previous injury. So 3 other facts I learned from researching. I learned that there's different types of tape. So the most common one that we use is J&J tape, which is that white tape you see a lot. It's not a really flexible tape, and it's really used for reinforcement. The second type of tape that we also use is PowerFlex tape. This one's a lot more flexible. It also enables us to kind of hold applications in place, whether that be a bandage, whether that be some type of bigger bandage. The PowerFlex is very, very diverse and useful, as well as we have our KT tape, which is for supporting really soft tissues, and it kind of acts as more of an aid, as well as other thing that I learned is that the way student athletes handle loss. So through my ELO, I was able to give me the opportunity to be able to take a step back and look at athletics, not just by playing in it. So I was able to really kind of witness how student athletes, take loss, take losing a lot, like having a bad season, and doing so, like I said, gave me the opportunity to kind of like look at what's happening and look at, what are signs that they're going through, like a grieving stage. So that leads me to my last point, is that another thing that I learned from researching was the rules that the athletic trainers have to follow. So I kind of parenthesized HIPAA right here. Even though it's you're under a school district, you still have to follow the HIPAA guidelines. And it's essential to know what you can and cannot do, to protect privacy, as well as just, creating the best work environment and just safe environment for the students as well. So I want to say thank you, and what is next for me after obtaining my ELO. So as I said before, the ELO is really giving me this opportunity to take a step back and look at sports as a whole. And it has also made me realize that I have a niche for being able to want to help people. That's also why I did my nursing program. So by doing this ELO, it has really made me see that it's within my nature to want to help people. So I'm actually not going into the medical field. I intend on going into the education realm to become a secondary education teacher, as well as getting my license in coaching. But I am forever grateful for Marcus and the opportunity that he's been able to give me, as well as Kelly Braley, who is our athletic director, and Tony, who is the assistant, as well as just the school district for just really being able to give me the tools I need to be able to succeed as not only a student, but as a student athlete, and especially as the athletic trainer assistant. Thank you, guys.